VimBiz, complex workflows made simple. Coming to you live from NAB in Las Vegas, Stéphane Turgeon presents Business Requirements, Scheduling and Resource Allocation.
Good afternoon, Vegas, and hopefully Sin City's been treating you well so far. My name is Stéphane, and I'm a product manager at VimBiz, and I have the luxury of working with our customers and the industry and addressing their challenges. For those of you who've seen my friend Tom in the introductory session, he was talking about the depth of VimBiz, and today's session is really focused on a specific part, which is the business requirements and scheduling and resource allocation. So before I dive into it, I just want to mention that the business requirement, I may use the acronym BR. So ahead of time, BR stands for business requirement. And right now I'll be wearing hats today. So of course I'll be wearing more the production manager hat to start, which I'm really going to do some pre-planning in my project and my BR. And later on, once I submit my request, I'm going to start doing some scheduling, which I'm going to wear a scheduler hat after the fact. So to start, I'm going to work on a request that I want to put in on a 5-day test run for pre-production. And what I've done through VimBiz, I opened the project Gantt form, which really gives me proper visibility on different projects that I'm working on. And just to give some idea, so I have a project group that holds all of my projects. So when I open it, I have really a bird's eye view of everything that's going on currently within my projects. And the one I'll be focusing on, which is the test run, today I'm going to open this task and I'm going to be able to focus on the requirements for my task. Okay, so we're going to open this requirement. And this, when I'm talking about the BR, this is what I'm referring to. So BR is a highly flexible tool, and we've really focused throughout the last few years in evolving BR, and it's been one of our most active modules in VimBiz, where we allow you to plan for a simplified request. And in this case, you'll see that I've requested for different resources. So there's equipment that I have in my BR, so you'll see I have some lights, I have some cameras. I also have a studio that I'm also planning for, and a few roles. The idea of the BR, first of all, is you can use it as an estimation tool or a quoting tool. So if you wanted to be able to say, well, before I ask for anything, I just want to have an idea of how much this is going to cost for either my project or this specific request. Well, the beauty of it is within VimBiz, once you configure rates and schedules on a yearly basis, you can update those rates. Well, just pulling in those requirements is just magically calculating how much this is going to cost. So you'll see through my various requirements, it rolls it up at the top. We support multiple currencies or whatnot. Now, I've been focusing on the financials and the cost analysis part, but really the focus we've been improving throughout the years is really adding more collaboration tools and things that makes it a bit more efficient for planning purposes. For example, collaboration. So we have tools like communicating between modules. So if I wanted to, let's say, notify a scheduler that I would want a specific facility, I can add a note saying, well, I need the TV studio too. Or if I'm on a phone call and I realize I need a freelancer or an external resource, I may want to specify who that person will be. In this case, I'm saying I spoke to freelancer Flavia, and that this will be the person I wish to have fulfill my requirement. On top of that, we have some customers as well that really like to give access or extend access to the request. So maybe I'm the production manager, but I'd really like for the logistics manager to help me out and plan for, maybe I'm not a guru in equipment, so maybe I need more. So in this case, I can give access, let's say 2 weeks in advance, and then users can go in and they can help. They can add more requirements and they can add details. I was mentioning that the BR is a simplified tool to put your requirements, but if you really wish to go into details and even down to the scheduling level, you have the ability to define when you need those resources to start. Again, you don't have to, but the details are there. So I've requested for various roles to start maybe at 8 a.m., some a little later, and I can also define even meals. We have customers of ours that love to plan to the granular level and even planning for meals. So I can go in and I can plan on my meals. Not only that, I already know that I have certain roles that I need to plan for specific skills. Maybe they'll be traveling and I need certain employees to speak English, French, Spanish, any other language. Or maybe I just know that because they'll be bringing gear with them, maybe they need to carry a lot of weight. So maybe I want to specify that within my BR. So the whole idea with the BR is you've listed what you need, and then once you're done, you can submit that request, and it's like you're just sending off a sheet of paper in the old days, and you would submit that, and they would fulfill your needs. Well, the beauty in VimBiz is that it's fully integrated. So not only are you using it as an estimation tool, but now that I'm hitting, let's say, this submit button, it's ultimately communicating to the rest of the teams what's needed. So now as a production manager, I fulfilled my role, I did my detailed planning, and now if I change my hat and I say, okay, moving forward, now I'm the scheduler, okay? So I've submitted my request, and I'll be moving over to one of our scheduling forms. And the idea with the scheduling and resource allocation form, you'll see when I opened it, I have the ability to focus on employee events or employee requirements, and I can do the same around facilities. So I had one TV studio in my project, for my project, and you'll see that these boxes, or what we call events in VimBiz, just showed up at the top, and then I can highlight one of them, I can do the shortcut of F5, and then it'll actually filter down those actual facilities that can fulfill my need. So you'll see in this case, these 3 facilities match up with what has been requested, my apologies. But then I can see, okay, this one's the only one that's available, so I can take this event and I can assign it to TV3 Studio, okay? And then later on, my friend Tom, who's gonna have a session on rentals, will be able to use that facility and say, can I fulfill any of the equipment requirements using this facility? I'm not gonna dive into rentals, that will be my friend Tom later on. From an employee point of view, I'm just going to refresh this. And one key thing that I maybe didn't mention for the facility tab, so I will apologize, I skipped the detail, but in VimBiz, whenever you see those yellow lines at the top, it really represents that there's unfulfilled or unallocated requirements. So that means there's people that need something and it hasn't been assigned to actual resources at this point. So you'll see that we can do different filtering. So I used this filter to only show requirements needed for this project, which is VimBiz and You. And there's also the idea of filtering for employees. And in my particular case, I'm filtering based on a team because I deal with camera operators. So I want to focus on all the employees that have that role. So I'm just going to select these 5 events. Again, do an F5. So you'll see as I selected these 5 events, now it's actually telling me that John can fulfill this role and I can assign these events. I'm going to assign the event and then those will all move along. Perfect. So the idea right now is you're playing Tetris, if you will. So you have all these different needs and requirements, and then you can assign them to resources as you bring them down. And the beauty of that is because of that full integration with VimBiz, in the BR, if the production manager goes back in to see their requests, we actually update that request to give updates on what was resolved. So there's like really that proper integration throughout VimBiz, so that production managers can work within the BR and schedulers can work with their scheduling forms. Another item is I may realize that John needs a skill. I need to update his employee profile for a skill, but one thing I want to mention as well, and you've maybe seen this through the other presentations, is in VimBiz we've introduced the concept of the VimBiz AI chat assistant. So we'll be moving forward into trying to feed as much information so that our users don't have to go through documents or videos and different avenues to find this information. They can simply ask the VimBiz AI chatbot. In this case, I'll say, how do I add a skill to an employee? Okay, so once I've asked the information to the AI assistant, it will come back and then it will give me the path and it will give me the steps on how to do so, which can be pretty handy. If ever I feel under the weather or negative, I can even ask the chatbot if I'm a good person or if I look nice. Actually, there's some details there, so hopefully I won't have to use that anytime soon. All right, so I could be going on for quite some time around the BR and scheduling, but the last piece I want to mention is that now that I'm starting to do these allocations, I realize I'm using the easy path. And I'm saying, oh, I'm putting in a request, and then I'm scheduling these resources, but we know that that's not how the day-to-day operates. There's going to be so many changes. You have to move your productions. You have to move your BR by, let's say, a week, a month. you realize you need resources for a different time. No problem. So you can go back to your BR or within scheduling, make your adjustments, and VimBiz has tools that communicates when changes occur. And so we send out notifications, we'll show specific icons when things require review, and we really are there to help you out. So I really appreciate your time today, and I wish you a great day, and please stay tuned for Daniel shortly for the time card session and publishing schedules. Thank you.